Hey everybody, welcome to Hockey Skate Down. Before we get into the video, I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. If you want to join our hockey team, it's free. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell to all. Thank you all so much, and let's get started. So the Devils dropped Game 3 in this season, their home opener for the 24-25 season to the Toronto Maple Leafs. And, this one does suck, so I'm not going to do a rant video. It's only the third game of the year. Still plenty of hockey games left, but, you wanted the Devils to win this game for Sheldon Keefe. They were playing against his former team in the Toronto Maple Leafs, but, the Toronto Maple Leafs, coming off of a loss to the Montreal Canadiens, they came to play when the Devils are still trying to get their legs back from coming back from Prague. So let's talk about this game, so please stay with me throughout. So the Toronto Maple Leafs beat the New Jersey Devils 4-2 in the Devils' home opener for the 24-25 season, and it's the first time that the Toronto Maple Leafs played against their former coach in Sheldon Keefe. The Devils haven't played since coming back from Prague, which was about 5 days ago since their last game. We kind of saw some news where Joseph Wall wasn't playing because he's injured, so Dennis Hildeby played in his NHL debut in goal, and of course, whenever, I don't care how far back you go, whenever there's an announcer saying, whether it's Doc Emrick, whether it's Chico Resch, whether it was Cangelosi, whether it was Bill Spaulding, whether it was Bryce Salvador, and whether it's Ken Danigo, whenever they say that this is this player's first NHL game, this player will play a factor in the Devils losing tonight, and that showed again tonight. So whenever we heard that Dennis Hildeby was starting his first career game in goal, Devils, I'm sure all Devils fans are saying, fuck, this guy's going to end up beating the Devils tonight. And that's what happened. So, it was something that whenever they first announced that, I immediately thought that, I was hoping for a better result from the Devils. But, this was a tough game. You could tell the Devils didn't have their legs. It was a game where everything was a bit off. Even Dino said that during the telecast. And it showed. Either the passes weren't crisp. Defensively, they weren't there covering the zone. They were always a step behind. Shots weren't getting across because, give credit to the Toronto Maple Leafs because they blocked a lot of shots and they played a good game. I'll give it to the Toronto Maple Leafs. You're expecting the cast of the core four to be a factor in every game, but, Auston Matthews had a couple of good shifts. He hit the post in the first period. But other than that, you didn't hear their names a lot. You didn't hear the typical names of Matthews and Marner and Tavares you heard, but, William Nylander, you didn't hear their names being a factor. You heard them here and there, but, the players that stood out to me more were Max Pacioretty. He played a good game, and I love that signing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. If he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be a huge factor for the Toronto Maple Leafs this year. And it's weird to see him after him playing for the Montreal Canadiens, but, it's a fit for them. They needed this sort of player, and if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be a good factor for them. Matthew Knies looked like he took his off-season training very seriously. He came into camp in good condition this year, and it showed. He was all over the ice. He was taking hits, giving hits. He was putting the puck on net when he had to. He was playing in the front of the net. He looks good this year, so I think we're going to see a really good year from Matthew Knies. McCann looked good out there. He scored a goal tonight. Lorentz was a solid pickup for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He had a goal and an assist. So, the Devils fell behind 3-0 in this, and, they tried to get back into it after Jesper Bratt scoring the power play off of a beautiful shot to make it 3-1. When Tavares scored that goal to make it 4-1, it just totally deflated the building, and, it was going to be a harder mountain to climb for the Devils. Timo Meier did score later into that where it was 4-2, so you thought that it'd be a competitive game towards the end, and the Devils did have their shots on net, but there wasn't a lot throughout the game. Hildeby played good. I'll give him that. He made a lot of saves when he had to. A lot of key saves early on, but he wasn't tested a lot. He had made 22 saves and 24 shots. Looking at the stats, the shots on goal were 24-22 in favor of the Devils. Hits were a huge factor. The Devils played a very physical game in this. The hits were 31-11 in favor of New Jersey. Blocked shots, Toronto Maple Leafs led this 27-11. They were blocking everything out there. And, it showed. The Devils didn't have their legs as much in the beginning. They fell behind early, and they couldn't get back into this. But, it's a long season, but I'll give it to the Toronto Maple Leafs. I like the way they looked entering this game. And, seeing how they played against the Montreal Canadiens, that was a good game. I know they lost that one. I think it was 1-0, but they look good. They look like a different team under Craig Berube, and I think they're going to play that style that they needed to play along for this long time. They brought in a good cast Tanev looks good on the back end, so you can tell the defense is going to be blocking more shots because the way Tanev plays, this guy's a warrior. Situations in net I think is going to be something that may be a factor. I like Stolarz, the addition of Stolarz, and you have Wall for the tandem in net for this year, so we'll see what happens with their goaltending, but defense looks like they really improved with their acquisitions, and I like the way the forwards look this year. I really do. I like the addition of Pacioretty. I like what I saw from Nyes tonight. McCann I always liked ever since they signed him. And, just the core players that they add, and Lorentz and all these other players, I think it's going to make all their other players, their star players, elevate their game. And especially with this first year under Auston Matthews being the captain of their team, you're going to see an elevation in his game and also the core four. So contract year from Mitch Marner, so he's going to play good because he's going to want the big bucks on his next deal. And William Nylander, he wants to prove that he's worth whatever he got on his long-term signing. So there's a lot for the Toronto Maple Leafs to prove this year. I think they're going to be a lot better team. Of course, I think the Devils will as well. They made a lot of huge additions. So hopefully they come back more ready to play in the game against the Capitals on Saturday. So comment below. What do you think about this game? What do you think about all that happened? Comment below and let me know. Thank you all for watching. I really appreciate your time. Smash that like button if you haven't done so, and subscribe to the Hockey Skate Down. It's free, and join the hockey team. Thank you all so much. Have a great rest of the day. Have a great night. Take it easy. Stay safe.